Wow, okay. And now to continue fighting for freedom, in the 22nd Senate District in Wisconsin, where Senator Wirch has been doing his best to go ahead and destroy our state, along with the other Democrats. You remember the ones who ran away, the fleabaggers? Well, they want to go and get a senator down there who's going to sit and fight for them. Pam Stevens is looking to take that chair.
Okay, how fair is it that I have to follow Adam? Seriously. That is just all things not fair. But I will give it my best try. I'm sitting up here thinking, first of all, let me tell you a little bit about who I am, okay? My name is Pam Stevens, and I've been fortunate to live in the great state of Wisconsin for the last 17 years. I am a single mom with 5 children and the absolutely most perfect 4-year-old grandson imaginable. I was on the Kenosha Unified School Board for 9 years, so I know where the problem is. I know what the problems are as far as educating our kids and what we need to do. Now, when I was thinking about the word freedom, I would be remiss if I did not talk about the fact that freedom is the very reason we are all here. Because we strive, we want to fight for freedom. Nobody wants to be in bondage. Nobody wants to be beholden to anybody or have to do just what somebody tells you to do just because they tell you to do it. That's why our men and women fought and they died. We have to remember those people that fought for our freedoms all throughout the centuries of a young America. And we are still very young compared to some other places in the world. So we have to continue that fight. And we can't let them steal that away from us. We can't let them take this country to a place that we don't want to go, a place we haven't been, the places we run from. They're trying to take this country to the places that everybody's trying to get away from. And then there won't be any place to go to for those freedoms. I was raised, as you can all see, but let's just say it, I'm black. And I was raised... I know, right? Go figure. I was raised in a Democratic home. My father was as Democrat as you can get. But God bless him, one of the things he always said, he said, I want my 3 children to think for themselves. I want you all to research the issues, and I want you to do what is best for you and your family. And that's not necessarily going to be the choices that I or your mother have made. He gave me that legacy, no matter how much a part of the Democratic Party he was in Chicago. He gave that to me. He was a precinct captain for most of my life for Edward Vrdolyak. You can't get too much slimier than that. But he gave me the legacy of choice, of decision making, and to think for myself and not let anybody else think for us. That was the key. Don't let somebody else tell you what you should do. And that is how I raise my children. And with that is why, if somebody asks, because I know you get it a lot. You get a lot that you're racist. You get it. You get a lot that you don't care about anybody else but white America and rich America. Go figure. Is anybody here rich? Is anybody here in the 1% or whatever percent they want to say rich people are? None of us here are there. We're all struggling every single day. We're everyday people. And those are the people that we have to fight for, the middle class, the low-income people. Those are the ones that we care about. And we're not trying to give you a handout. We want to give you the tools you need so you can succeed. So you don't have to come on your hands and knees begging Master Democrat for some crumbs so that he can keep you at a certain level of life to where you can't get out of those communities. You can't feed your kids unless they give you the money. How can they not see that that is a form of slavery? They might as well be back on the plantation, letting Master tell them how much they can eat, when they can eat, where they can live, when they can sleep. It's the same thing. So when they ask you, how can you be a Republican? You ask them, how can I be a conservative? How can I be a libertarian? How can I not fight for the very values that made this country great? And that's God, family, and country. That's how I was raised. So how can't you understand that. You want to sit up here and put everybody in the class and say, oh my goodness, those Tea Parties, those Republicans, those conservative people, they're so racist. Are you kidding me? Who's the one that's got a hand out here saying, come on, I'll help you up here and let me show you how I did it so that you can do the same thing, so that you can be independent, instead of the one saying, I'm sorry, you're not smart enough to do it. I'm sorry, what, you can't get an ID? What? You're disenfranchised because you can't go get an ID even though you need one to do just about anything, even vote in a union election. You need an ID for everything. So we're going to help you get that ID. Our governor, he went and made them free. He made them free, and yet they still say we're disenfranchised because we can't get to the DMV. Are you kidding me? Really? You can get to any place you want to get to. You manage to do it anyway. So now all of a sudden, because we want you to prove who you are, because of something as important as voting for the people that are going to lead this country, you don't want to get an ID for it? Come on, give me a break. That's ridiculous. And the next time somebody tells me that because of the color of my skin or the pigmentation of my skin that I can't achieve something and I can't do something, you know what? They don't tell me that anymore. But when they did, they know they had to hear that from me. And the next time they tell you that you're a racist because you are a conservative, because you have the family values that we were all raised with, then you just tell them, you know what? I'm the one standing up for you all. I'm the one that stands up for the people that are having a hard time. I'm the one telling you that you are just like me. You are smart enough, strong enough, intelligent enough that you can do it. The tools are out there. And I'm not saying that there isn't racism. But just take a look at the Democratic Party and you will know where the racism is coming from. Because they tell you you are less than. You are different. You can't do this. Why can't I? I was on the Kenosha Unified School Board for 9 years. The reason I ran is because I got angry. I got angry because my fourth grader at the time, he will be 20 next month, but at the time he was in fourth grade, he scored above and beyond the state level as far as the state testing was concerned. The next day, after those results came out, the headline in the paper said, Kenosha's minorities score lower than Green Bay's minority. The reporter asked our then interim superintendent, why do you think that is? His answer was, you can't compare Kenosha's minorities to Green Bay's minorities because Green Bay's minorities are Asian. The very day that they started accepting signatures for the school board, I took my papers out. Because there was no way you were going to tell me that my child can't be compared to his peers because of the pigmentation of his skin. And my child was successful. He was doing it. So now when I tell people that, they tell me, oh, you're different. Your child is different. How is my child different? I'm struggling just like everybody else. I live paycheck just like everybody else, paycheck to paycheck. I'm robbing Paul to pay Peter, and Peter can't pay him back. Every single day, just like everybody else. So my child is not different. I'm not different. And don't tell me otherwise. I watched how they tell you in school that black children can't achieve because of all of the issues and baggage they have at home. Every community has issues and baggage at home. They have broken homes, divorced homes, parents in jail, parents alcoholics, drugs, whatever. It's a universal thing. It's just not in the black community. So for you to say that, you may try to make my child think that my child has a problem or that my child was born and he's got a few steps behind everybody else. No, that's not the message I give my child. I tell my children, you're going to screw up. You're going to make mistakes. But thank God that we know we can get back up and we can go and try and be successful again. You've got the tools. We all have the tools. Don't let anybody tell you you don't have the tools to be successful. You need to learn from your mistakes because that's why we make them, so that we can learn from them and hopefully we don't repeat them again, because none of us are perfect. We all live in glass houses, so do not pick up any rocks to throw at somebody else's house. My kids are raised that way. My grandson is raised that way. It's how I raised my nephew. I will not let anybody put boundaries on them or keep them in a box. We have got to stop being politically correct, people. This is not about politics. Stop thinking Republican, Democrat. Start thinking values, the very values we were raised with. Don't go in there voting saying, oh, I just got to vote because this person is Republican. I just got to vote because this person is Democrat. Do you know how ridiculous that is? That's insane. We vote for the people that share our values, that share the same message that we want to give about freedom, about God, about family, and about education. We can go nowhere in this country until we start really educating our kids and giving parents choices and options. You don't know how to raise my kid better than me, so don't tell me that you do. I will tell you how you will how you will educate my child, not the other way around. And if they try to tell you that, and parents, see, this is where I get real upset. You have no idea how much power you have. None whatsoever. If the school that your child is in is not doing what your taxes are paying for them to do, you take your child in there and you demand that they do it. And if that teacher is not living up to your standards, you get another teacher. And you can do that. There's some great teachers out there. There's some great teachers in Kenosha Unified. I wouldn't have kept all 5 of my kids in Kenosha Unified if there weren't. Therefore, if people start telling you you're anti-education, you're anti-teacher, you ask them, are you out of your mind? My child is in public education. So are you telling me that I entrust the very most important thing in the world to me, to people that I'm anti, that I'm against? They don't think logically. They're not thinking logically, and we have to turn that around and make them start thinking logically. That's our job. Start making them think logically. They're not going to take away our freedoms. You're not going to be in control of my life. My life is my business, not yours. Stay out of it. Let me make my mistakes, the mistakes I'm going to make. You don't get to make mistakes for me. Let me make my own mistakes. We have to get back to the very principles that this country was founded on. And our founding fathers weren't perfect. That's what they're thinking, that our messages is that they were perfect and they didn't make any mistakes. They weren't perfect, but they had the right principles. They had the right foundation. And that is what we built this country on, that foundation. We didn't build it on their mistakes. We didn't build it on the things that weren't perfect about them. We built it on the things that were good, the things that were right. And that is what we need to get to the young people. I'm so proud of the young people that we have here today. I mean, my goodness. I look at these young people and I just swell up with pride. When my kids ask me questions about politics, and I tell them it's not about that, it's about issues, it's about thinking for yourself, about how you were raised. It just gets me going that they are interested in it. And that when I see all these young people at these different events that are interested. So I just want to say, because I can talk a lot and I can go on and on and on. So I see Paris and Radine over there telling me to wrap it up. His smile, his cheese. So I'm going to do that. But you know what? Again, some of you don't live in my district, and that's fine. Word of mouth prayer helps a lot. So I ask for your support in November so that we can continue on the path to freedom, going back to freedom. Yes, we do want to go back. Going back to freedom and not forward the way Obama wants to go. We need to go forward. So there are people, individuals that you need to support. Find out who is running in your district. Get involved. Do these things. Spread the word. And so that these people can get the support and we can get into office. Because if we're in office, you're in office.
Thank you so much, Pam. And that's what it's all about. She's telling you, you got to go ahead and let the parents go ahead and decide, but how are you going to do that? Put the people that share your values in place.